Let's experience 1968's Rosemary's Baby. I had some things I wanted to bring up about the film that impact me. So let's experience it together. There's a conversation at the dinner table when Rosemary and her husband, Guy, first have dinner over at the older couple's apartment right next door to them. And they're having dinner and they bring up the Pope. They bring up the Pope is coming to town, to New York, and they're kind of making fun of him thinking that he's holy. And they even make mention of how much money his Pope clothing must cost, or how much money is in the Catholic Church. And I thought about how many people say the same exact thing in daily life outside of the movie Rosemary's Baby, but how many people say those exact things. And in the context at the dinner, they then get into religion, and the old husband, the for the old couple, I'm blank, I don't remember their names, but the older man, he says, "You're not religious, are you, Rosemary?" And then his wife says, "Oh, I think we're making her uncomfortable." But you're not religious. In the context of the conversation about how much money is in the Catholic Church, that context is also, you're not religious, are you? And how often those exact conversations are being had by any of us. And how interesting that in Rosemary's Baby, it's tied to devil worshippers. They make mention of not being religious in the dinner scene, and I find it interesting. They even make mention of the rituals of the Catholic Church, but they are also a religion. These devil worshippers are also a religion. And it makes me think of the concept of not devil worship, but of Anton LaVey's Church of Satan, which has temples all over, and but there's the aspect that the image of Baphomet, or the upside down pentagram, which the Church of Satan has adopted. There's the idea that those are symbols and representations of being against kind of religious groupthink, and being kind of anti-Christian, but really a philosophy of independence. Okay, thinking for yourself, being yourself. And what always fascinated me was that Anton LaVey's Church of Satan has rituals. It has their own Bible. It has their own commandments. They're opposite the Ten Commandments, and in some ways they're fueling against them, but they have their own commandments. They have their own book. They have their own rituals, which always fascinated me for a group that didn't believe in God or the devil. And operating to with the tenets of being free from religion, from being free to be yourself. But that's another group. That's another religion with their own rituals. In Rosemary's Baby, we have legit devil worshippers. What's interesting is that it is said that Anton LaVey, who started the Church of Satan, that did not believe in God or the devil, played the devil in Rosemary's Baby. He was also a creative consultant in the film The Devil's Reign. For someone who didn't believe in the devil, it's very interesting, but that symbol is primarily to be rebellious towards Christianity. But in that intent of rebellion and ritual, you have another group, you have another religion, but you have another group with its own symbols. Instead of the cross, it's Baphomet. And so I always thought that was interesting, that to really be free, you'd have to be free from all those symbols. When I watch Rosemary's Baby, I also think about the idea of manipulation. People trying to control you. And I thought to myself, the people, there are three ways to be difficult to be manipulated. And I see it in Rosemary's Baby. But there are three ways that can make it almost impossible for you to be controlled by someone or to be controlled by a group. Number one, asking questions. If a group or a person does not allow you to ask questions, that's a red flag. But being able to ask questions freely ask questions. Number two, someone who regains all contact with family and friends and all former associates. One of the first things that someone or a group will try to do to control you is to try to get you to get rid of all previous contacts. In so doing, they are now your primary source of wisdom. Number three, books. Published paperback books. Ooh. Why is that? And we see these all in Rosemary's Baby. Why is that? Well, we live in a technological age where we get our wisdom from this mass pool called the internet that we could have never thought in the early 2000s it would be where it is today. The democracy of the internet. Anybody can say anything they want. But we now get our wisdom from Wikipedia, which can be changed at any time. We now get our facts from Google that has AI. We used to get our facts from encyclopedias. We used to go to libraries. We used to go to bookstores. Why is that relevant? It's relevant because it takes a lot more to write a book and to get that book published than it does to just make a website and write words on it. So what's more trustworthy? Rosemary's Baby also shows me the appearance of evil. Oh, we have a scene of one of the devil worshippers who's watching Rosemary reading a Reader's Digest. My parents used to have Reader's Digest in the bathroom. Innocent enough, with some jokes in there as well. You see them knitting. You see them being very fun. And what could be more disarming than older people? There's an aspect of just pure, there's just the idiosyncrasies of these old New York City people that are just fun. Which leads me to Rosemary's Baby's horror appearance. There's no fog rolling. There's no full moon. There's no dark castle at night. This is an apartment complex primarily in the daytime, with a bunch of interesting people living in the apartment. That's all. and yet the birth of the devil's baby. And so the appearance, the horror of Rosemary's Baby connects very closely to the appearance of evil in the characters of Rosemary's Baby. There's a scene near the end of the film where Rosemary's about to give birth and she's screaming, and the devil worshippers are holding her down on her bed. And I get a rise of emotion. I'm about to, I feel like I'm going to cry during that scene because it's so powerful. It's so powerful. Imagine that conversation between Rosemary's husband, Guy, and the old man from the old couple next door. When they first go over, imagine that conversation. You just kind of get a glimpse of like cigarette smoke. You can tell that they're talking. It's a very haunting 4 seconds or whatever it is, and then you see that they were on the couch talking. But imagine that conversation. We believe in the devil. The devil is here. We want the devil to rape your wife, to bring forth the devil's son, who will take over the world and bring down the institutions, whatever that means. Use your imagination. And in return, you will get the success that you've always wanted. It made me think of all of the other conversations that are happening all over the world, that maybe we have even had, where we block out everything before and we just remember success. Oh, success? But everything before that, doesn't matter anymore, whatever the cost. Something as extreme as that, as totally insane as that. I mean, let's just take out the fact that, take out the devil. Oh, it's going to have somebody rape your wife. And you'll get better acting gigs. And get a house in Beverly Hills. Rosemary's husband for the beginning of the film just doesn't seem happy. I mean, he loves his wife, got a great marriage. They're going to have a family. They got an apartment, that they like. It might be a little bit expensive, but they can do it. Things are going great, but he doesn't seem that happy. And then he has a conversation with that old man next door, and now he's jumping all over the place. It's the first time you see him happy. And it got me thinking, how many times in life are we happy just because we got our way? Like all of a sudden we're in a good mood around our friends. All of a sudden we're in a good mood around our families. But that's only secretly because we got our way with something. Imagine the rape scene in Rosemary's Baby done in any other movie. It could never be the same. It leads me to the dream sequences in here that are the way the rape scene almost is connected to, but throughout the film, within Rosemary. The dream sequences are so gutturally oppressive, and they do something to my heart rate subconsciously, like really twist and turn inside of me, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, but it's gnawing at me. Those dream sequences in that rape scene, there is something that is on another another level that I haven't quite seen in another horror film before. I love the idiosyncrasies of all the characters in this film. The film wouldn't be without the amazing acting. But the idiosyncrasies of the characters. Think of Guy, played by John Cassavetes. Think of Rosemary. She's so interesting. She's so interesting. And of course, the old couple next door. Every conversation in the movie is fascinating and disturbing, but fascinating. And it brings me to that subconscious disturbing, that subconscious gnawing, that this is the most horrifying film you've ever seen, but without the full moon.